looking pretty good. If you've got a metal brush for any troublesome areas, after you first put it on there, let it set for a while, and then go with your metal brush and see if you can't get it any cleaner. Look at this brush. It's pretty much wasted. You can tell how often I've used this. I'm going to have to get a new one, but what I could do is cut this off right here with the hacksaw. Then I would have a little mini one here to get back into corners, couldn't I? You know, this one still works for the corners though. Okay, something like that. You've got to get one of those when you clean. Don't wipe it off yet. Let it soak in there some more. And before it's dry all the way, give it another good little scrub. A dub-dub. Doesn't that look nice and clean now? Look at that. It got all that black stuff off of there. And I'm just going to wait for a while. I'm going to decide, and I've already decided, I'm going to go ahead and seal this. But of course, now I gotta let it sit until it's all the way dry. You don't want to do anything yet until it's dry. And what I'll probably end up doing is put a little bit of sealer over there where I cleaned and a little bit right there where I cleaned. Let that tack up and dry a little bit. It's not going to take very long to dry, you know. And then I'll go ahead and put a nice fresh coat over the entire thing. This little counter's going to look awesome. Now this is just a standard floor sealer, and I've got just a little paintbrush and I'm going to put it on with that. And I'm just going to put it on the couple areas first where I cleaned, just in case the cleaner took off any of the surrounding old sealer, so to speak. And I'm using a floor sealer because this tile or this rock countertop kind of mimics like what you'd see on a floor. So if you got like a granite countertop, you better check first what you should put on there for a sealer. Don't use a floor sealer. Go to your local hardware store, talk to a sales associate, tell them what you're trying to do, and they'll point you in the right direction for you to get the right stuff. Okay? Okay, that's all I'm going to do in that area. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to put a coat over the entire thing. Now see how that kind of looks white right now, but it will dry clear. Okay, it looks all dry. Now I'm just ready to put the second coat on. You need just a crummy old little paintbrush for this. You don't need anything fancy. I'm just going to put this on, being careful not to get it up on the backsplash. And if you have something like this type of backsplash, you could put it on there too if you want. Okay? A little bit at a time. Just careful as you go, you know? There's nothing hard about this. Know you can do it. Little dab will do ya. You want to put a drop cloth down, you can. That's just how it's going to look when it's wet, and as it dries, it's going to dry clear. Okay? You just don't want to get it too puddled at any one location. If you get too much on there, you know, any more than this, it could have a tendency to stay white, like if you have a big, huge pool of it somewhere. Okay? But this will be fine. Okay? There. We'll let that dry and I'll show you what it looks like. I could have put a little piece of masking tape along this wood edge, but I can wipe it off like this. That'll work. Okay. Hey, no frills. I got this all cleaned out. I just cleaned this out with water, and I cleaned out the brush with water, because if you don't, it's going to get stiff as a board and you're not really going to want to use it for something else. If you use more sealer later on, even though it's stiff, you can put it in the sealer and then swish it around for a minute or so, and then it will soften it up. But see, this brush, could I throw it away? Yeah, I could throw it away, but I've got it rinsed out and I can save it for next time. I've got some silly little project to do. You know, I might as well. I don't have to use a brand new paintbrush every single time for something that's not finished work per se, something that I just did. This is all ready, and incidentally, if you were wondering how to carry this, you don't carry it like that. Your wrist is going to get sore after a while like that. Slip your hand up underneath there like that, dip and go like that. You put your paintbrush over here, set it like that, and then the sealer, it's got a little spout at both ends, and I just poured the sealer back in the container. You know, that's all I did, and I'm ready for my next project. I can scratch that one off my list now. Well, that countertop is ready to go some more. So every year or so, if you do something like this, you can keep your counters looking great. Now, wait for this to cure. You probably want to stay off this counter for maybe a day or so until it dries fully, and be careful the first few times you use it. Wipe up that water if you get any on there, and you'll be fine. That's all I have for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. This toothpaste tastes kind of